Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening. Emergency services remain on high alert and Tasmanians are warned to batten down the hatches tonight as winds in excess of 125 kilometres an hour head towards our state. Thousands remain without power, with the destructive conditions expected to peak in the coming hours.
A perfect storm of high winds, rain and flooding set to cause destruction.
We'll see impacts and damage tonight that we don't usually see from strong winds.
The Weather Bureau urging the state to brace for winds in excess of 125 kilometres in some parts. And while the bad weather's been prolonged, the worst will come over the next 24 hours. Severe weather and flood warnings widespread across major rivers and regions.
In Tasmania, we're very used to strong winds at this time of year, but this is quite a rare event.
Wild winds and flooding have already made a mark. Parts of Deloraine already submerged, with a nervous wait still ahead for some locals.
It's gone down quite a bit because the river road was closed off.
Hundreds of its residents and more, mainly in the north and northwest, falling victim to power outages. TasNetwork's warning it could be days before power's restored.
It is slow going, restoring power. Our one priority at the moment is the safety of the public and our people. So we have lots of lines on the ground. It's extremely dangerous.
Those downed lines are top priority for SES. Crews attending to 300 call-outs since Tuesday.
Wind and storm related damaged roofs, broken windows, down trees has been, across the entire state.
Even the Spirit of Tasmania ship won't set sail until tomorrow, while TasPorts was forced to send help to a fishing vessel which lost engine control after leaving Burnie due to conditions. The Salamanca Strip also looking a little different, today marking the first Saturday in over 10 years that the markets have been unable to operate thanks to the wild weather.
There are hundreds of storeholders down there rely on Saturday as their entire weekly income for their families.
One donut store owner turning her $4,000 misfortune into a sweet surprise for patients at the Royal Hobart.
Instead of just wasting in the rubbish bin, it's better, much better.
But with spring around the corner, we're not expected to see some more timely weather until at least the end of next week.
My message to Tasmanians is please heed the warnings from the Bureau.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
And Kai Wicks will have the latest forecast and warnings a little later in the bulletin. To politics, and the Premier has promised cost of living relief in the upcoming state budget, which is set to be delivered in 12 days. In this morning's State Council's speech, Jeremy Rockliff also said Tasmania was leading the charge in turning the nation blue.
It was a rock star welcome for the Tasmanian Premier at the State Liberal Council meeting.
Thank you.
The party faithful giving Jeremy Rockliff a rousing reception before the Premier proudly listed the government's biggest achievement.
We've proven the pundits wrong in securing a fourth term, and we will not allow Labor or the Greens to take our great state back on a road to ruin.
Mr Rockliff hinting at what Tasmania can expect from the upcoming state budget.
It's a budget that continues our record investment into health, housing and education.
Also adding he was focused on ensuring Tasmania continues to be the best place in the nation to live.
And not allowing it to be eroded by the naysayers, the whingers.
Following the country Liberal Party's win in the recent Northern Territory election, Mr Rockliff is confident the blue wave led from Tasmania will continue across the country.
I look forward to our ranks being bolstered once again in October, when David frees Queensland from an inept Labor government. And also, I look forward to the day, in the not too distant future, I hope, when Peter Dutton is elected Prime Minister of Australia.
State Labor not convinced.
Well, I think Peter Dutton not even being here today as the leader of the federal Liberal opposition speaks in yards about just how seriously Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party take the Tasmanian Liberal Party.
Mr Dutton, however, did attend the State Liberal Council dinner last evening where he addressed colleagues. Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
7 months ago,
the state government has backflipped on plans to proceed with the proposed Northern Correctional Facility. Instead, it's opting to upgrade Tasmania's existing facilities and rehabilitation programs. But Labor says the move's another broken promise reflecting budget blowouts.
The government is just incapable of rolling out big projects. This is a 6-year, millions of dollars wasted, and they're taxpayer dollars that have been wasted.
The Liberals say investing in existing services will help boost community safety. It was a special day for firefighters in southern Tasmania today, with the official unveiling of upgraded facilities at Lackland Fire Station. The community getting a first look at the new and improved amenities decked out to bolster their capabilities.
Fit for the future, shiny new upgrades to the Lackland Fire Station, ready for firefighters to respond to emergencies as the warmer months draw closer.
Very exciting, it's been a long time coming.
Originally built in 1985, it's the first time the almost 40-year-old station had a makeover. The $50,000 revamp includes a secured garage, expanded engine bay and a dedicated change rooms for used PPE.
And now that's boxed in a room basically, which doesn't get contaminated.
See, we need these facilities so they can support our volunteers in their preparedness activities.
New bathroom facilities also part of the makeover, keeping up with modern requirements.
It's the first disabled toilet within a fire brigade in the southern region so far.
The extra space helping to accommodate more volunteers joining the ranks.
With more volunteers coming into the brigade, we needed a larger facility.
An extra special occasion also celebrating the dedication of the brigade's volunteers with a medal ceremony.
Some up to 40 years of service, these volunteers have provided their community.
Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7 Tasmania News.
The final regular season round of the Tasmanian State League served up solid wins across the board. At the Twin Ovals, Kingborough and Lauderdale both proved hungry for glory. Neck and neck for most of the match, the Tigers and the Bombers finishing up 67 all. A preview of what next week's clash could look like.
Home final on the line for both these sides. Now we'll meet again in a week's time.
Meanwhile, Clarence's premiership prospects are looking promising after taking out North Hobart with a whopping 59-point win. Noah Holmes was vital on the field, clocking 5 goals for the Roos and sealing the deal with a goal after the final siren.
24 is over. Holmes strolls in and kicks it.
While Glenorchy went down 10 points to Launceston on home soil. Finals football is also happening in community leagues right across the state. Starting off in the NTFA, where South Launceston beat Longford by 33 points at Youngtown Oval this afternoon. Lee Harding scoring 3 goals. The Bulldogs heading straight to the grand final. While Longford will face the winner of tomorrow's match between Rochely and Hillwood for a spot in the big game. Meanwhile, in the King Island Football Association Grand Final, the Curry Robins beat the Grassy Hawks by 7 points. And Queenstown beat Somerset by 13 points to take out the Darwin Football Association Premiership. To soccer now, and Launceston City FC remains positive it will be part of next year's Women's State League. The team wanting to take advantage of a record number of females playing for the club.
Female football has grown quite a bit in the last few years, especially after the Women's World Cup, but in the last few years.
It's the second time the club has applied for a licence.
Good evening. Hobart, Launceston, Devonport and Burnie all saw 12 degrees today. 15 the high for the islands, 14 at St Helens and Friendly Beaches. Smithton and Lowhead 13, 12 for Marai Island and Bushy Park. Grove 11, 10 in Strawn and only 2 degrees in Lyweenie. Cloudy conditions were seen across the state, particularly about the west. Now with that came a frontal band that approached the state today. Tomorrow, a trough will approach Tasmania in a strong westerly wind flow. Northwesterly winds increasing up to 45 knots in the southwest, with swells peaking to 9 metres tomorrow. A severe weather warning continues again for the entire state tomorrow, as does a gale warning for all remaining coastal waters. We have a storm force warning between Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. There is also a strong wind warning for many inshore waters, and a coastal hazard warning continues for some parts of the islands and coastal areas about the north and west, bringing abnormally high tides and damaging surf. A flood warning is in place for the River Derwent, Meander, North Esk, Styx and Tyena rivers. A warning to sheep graziers that also continues for many parts of Tasmania. Not quite the forecast we were hoping for as we approach the first day of spring tomorrow. Showers and rain increasing in Hobart and Richmond 14, 12 and heavy falls for Ooze. Plenty of wet and windy weather for Launceston and Devonport 14, and much the same for Deloraine with 12 there. No reprieve either towards the west at Burnie 14, 13 for Strawn and 15 the top for Curry. 15 and rain in St Helens, increasing showers in Swansea 16, very windy in Whitemark 15 degrees. Monday, showers persisting about the west, contracting also to the far south with possible thunderstorms about the west coast with snow falling to 500 metres. Tuesday, light showers about the west with snow that will continue to fall to 800 metres. Will otherwise be a fine day elsewhere. Wednesday, fine before showers develop in the afternoon. 35 the nation's high tomorrow in Alice Springs, becoming windy in Sydney and possible showers for Perth. Thunderstorm activity right now over Hobart 10 degrees, raining in Launceston with 12, also 12 in Devonport, although windy, and a very warm welcome back to you, Lou.
Thank you so much, Kaya. It's certainly very different to European summer this weekend. And that's all your news for now. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.